The twin moons of Xiris cast an eerie glow over the crystalline spires of the astral citadel. Nyx'ara stood atop the highest tower, her obsidian robes billowing in the charged atmosphere. Her six-fingered hands moved with practiced precision, tracing arcane symbols in the air. Each gesture left a trail of bioluminescent energy, forming a complex pattern that mirrored a distant constellation. As the alien witch completed her incantation, the stars above seemed to pulse in response. Nyx'ara's silver eyes widened, reflecting the cosmic dance above. She had spent centuries deciphering the ancient texts, learning the forbidden rituals that her ancestors had deemed too dangerous to perform. Now, on the cusp of unlocking the universe's deepest secrets, a flicker of doubt crossed her mind. The citadel beneath her hummed with energy. Quantum processors merged seamlessly with Eldritch artifacts, creating a harmonious blend of science and sorcery. Nyx'ara's coven had long since transcended the need for primitive tools, their very bodies becoming conduits for the raw power of the cosmos. Yet for this ritual, she clutched a relic in her left hand, a shard of dark matter, cool to the touch but burning with potential. A chime resonated through the psychic link she shared with her acolytes. Xiris, her most promising student, reached out with a mental warning. The rival coven led by Vexthor had detected the surge of energy and was approaching rapidly. Nyx'ara curled her lip in disdain. They were too late to stop what she had set in motion, but their interference could prove catastrophic. With a thought, Nyx'ara activated the citadel's defenses. Holographic barriers shimmered into existence, reinforced by wards etched with mathematical precision and occult symbolism. As she returned her focus to the stars above, the constellation she had awakened began to shift. The pattern of lights twisted into an impossible shape, defying the laws of celestial mechanics. Nyx'ara felt a presence vast and ancient turn its attention towards Xiris, and for the first time in eons, she felt truly afraid. Vexthor's coven approached the astral citadel, their obsidian vessels slicing through the atmosphere with preternatural silence. The rival witchlord stood at the helm, his four eyes narrowed in concentration as he wove a counterspell. The air around his ship crackled with dark energy, tendrils of void stuff reaching out to probe Nyx'ara's defenses. Inside the citadel, Xiris coordinated the coven's response. Her neural interface pulsed with data streams, managing the complex interplay of technology and magic that maintained their sanctuary. She felt a surge of pride as the first of Vexthor's probing attacks dissipated harmlessly against their wards. But the young acolyte knew better than to underestimate their adversary. High above, Nyx'ara continued her intricate dance with the stars. The constellation she had awakened now pulsed with a malevolent awareness. Tendrils of dark matter began to seep through the fabric of space-time, coalescing into forms that defied comprehension. The alien witch felt her sanity fraying at the edges as she glimpsed the true nature of the entity she had roused. Zolthar, the wizened elder of the forgotten sect, emerged from his stasis chamber deep within the citadel. His translucent skin glowed with internal bioluminescence, a testament to the countless augmentations he had undergone in his long life. He sensed the awakening of the Eldritch constellation and knew that the prophecies of old were coming to fruition. With grim determination, he began to prepare the ritual that would either save their world or doom it entirely. As Vexthor's forces clashed with the citadel's outer defenses, a new presence made itself known. Myrna, a cosmic entity drawn by the disturbance, manifested in the space between the twin moons. Its form was ever-shifting, a kaleidoscope of light and shadow that hurt the mind to perceive directly. Both Nyx'ara and Vexthor faltered in their spellcasting, momentarily overwhelmed by the sheer alienness of the being that now turned its unfathomable attention upon Xiris. The clash between covens escalated, turning the skies above Xiris into a maelstrom of eldritch energies. Vexthor's ships, sleek biomechanical marvels, darted between the citadel's energy beams. Each impact released bursts of quantum instability, warping the very fabric of reality around the conflict. Nyx'ara, still atop her spire, split her focus between maintaining the awakening ritual and coordinating her coven's defense. Deep within the citadel, Xiris felt the strain of managing their defenses. Sweat beaded on her grey skin as she interfaced with the citadel's systems. Her mind expanded to encompass every ward and weapons array. Through the neural network, she sensed Zoltar's preparations and felt a chill of apprehension. The Elder's ritual carried a cost that she wasn't sure they were prepared to pay. Zoltar stood at the center of a chamber, lined with arcane machinery. Holographic displays shimmered around him, showing the progress of the cosmic awakening. With movements both precise and desperate, he began to manipulate the controls. The Forgotten Sect had built fail-safes into the very foundation of their society, preparing for this moment across millennia. As he worked, Zoltar's body began to disintegrate, his essence feeding into the machines. Above, the entity from the stars continued to manifest. Reality buckled around it, and rifts began to open in the sky. Through these tears in space-time, glimpses of other worlds and dimensions flashed by. Myrna's presence acted as a catalyst, accelerating the awakening of the malevolent constellation. Nyx'ara realized with growing horror that she had underestimated the scale of what she was unleashing. Vexthor, sensing the shifting tide of battle, made a bold decision. He directed his flagship on a collision course with the central spire of the astral citadel. As his ship plummeted towards Nyx'ara's position, he channeled every ounce of his power into a spell of unmaking. The two rival witches locked eyes across the diminishing distance, each recognizing that their conflict had escalated beyond their control and that the fate of Xiris now hung in the balance. As Vexthor's ship hurtled towards her, Nyx'ara made a split-second decision. Instead of defending against the attack, she reached out with her mind to the approaching vessel. In that moment of connection, both witch lords saw the full scope of the danger they faced. The malevolent entity awakening in the stars threatened not just Xiris, but the entire galaxy. With unspoken agreement, they turned their combined power towards containing the cosmic horror they had unwittingly unleashed. Xiris felt the shift through the neural network. The Citadel's defenses realigned, no longer targeting Vexthor's forces, but instead focusing on the rifts tearing open the sky. She redirected the flow of energy, merging the techniques of both covens into a unified shield. The young acolyte's mind expanded further than ever before, touching the consciousness of every witch on Xiris as they joined the desperate effort. In the heart of the citadel, Zoltar completed his sacrifice. His physical form had entirely dissipated, but his consciousness lived on within the ancient machinery. The fail-safe protocols activated, and a beam of pure, concentrated reality shot from the apex of the astral citadel. It struck the swirling mass of Myrna, momentarily stabilizing the cosmic entity's form and halting the spread of dimensional rifts. Nyx'ara and Vexthor, now united in purpose, began an intricate spell weaving. Their powers complemented each other, order and chaos in perfect balance. They drew upon the combined strength of both covens, channeling it through the focus provided by Zoltar's sacrifice. The malevolent constellation above began to warp and twist, its awakening pattern disrupted by their intervention. But the entity would not be contained easily. It lashed out with tendrils of dark energy, each strike threatening to shatter the fragile alliance of the witches. The very foundations of Xiris shook, and in cities across the planet, the populace looked to the sky in terror. The fate of their entire civilization rested on the outcome of this cosmic struggle, as the witches fought to close the door they had opened to powers beyond their comprehension. The battle raged on, stretching the limits of time and space. Nyx'ara and Vexthor, once bitter rivals, now moved in perfect synchronization. Their spells wove a tapestry of cosmic law, seeking to bind the awakened entity back into its stellar prison. But for every thread they secured, another unraveled. The malevolent intelligence fought back with the weight of eons behind it, each struggle threatening to tear Xiris apart. Within the citadel, Xiris had become one with the machinery. Her consciousness expanded across the planet, touching the minds of every witch and citizen. Through her, the entire population of Xiris lent their strength to the battle. The young acolyte channeled their combined will, their hopes and fears, their very essence, into the spell being cast at the citadel's peak. Zolthar, now existing as pure energy within the ancient systems, activated the final protocols of the Forgotten Sect. Across Xiris, hidden structures awakened. Pyramids of crystal and metal rose from beneath oceans, emerged from mountain ranges, and phased into existence from pocket dimensions. Each one added its power to the containment effort, creating a planet-wide sigil of binding. As the witches of Xiris poured the last of their strength into the spell, Myrna made its final move. The cosmic entity, neither truly malevolent nor benevolent, but simply beyond mortal comprehension, reached out to touch the minds of Nyx'ara and Vexthor. In that moment of contact, the Witch Lords glimpsed the true nature of the universe, its beauty and its terror, its infinite complexity and its underlying simplicity. With this newfound understanding, Nyx'ara and Vexthor completed their incantation. The awakened constellation above Xiris flared brilliantly, then began to fade. The rifts in space-time slowly knitted themselves closed, and the tremors shaking the planet subsided. As silence fell over Xiris, its inhabitants looked to the sky with a mixture of relief and awe. The threat had been contained, but the experience had irrevocably changed their world. In the astral citadel, Nyx'ara and Vexthor stood side by side, their rivalry forgotten in the face of cosmic truths. They knew that this was not an end, but a beginning, the dawn of a new era for their civilization, one that would reach for the stars with both wisdom and caution.